Welcome back to another video, and today we got our World Series preview and predictions. The Dodgers are looking to go back-to-back. The Blue Jays are looking for their first World Series in over 30 years, I believe. It's going to be a great series. We had some great ALCS games, some great NLCS games, great postseason altogether, and I'm hoping this World Series can live up to the expectations. It's the 1-seed Blue Jays versus the 3-seed Dodgers. The Blue Jays are going to get the home field advantage here, but the Dodgers have been unreal this playoff run, and like I said, they're looking to go back-to-back. Let's go ahead and get on into it. Real quick, though, I just wanted to clear the slate and just show you what I predicted before the playoffs started. Let's just look at how stupid I was and how bad my predictions were. In the first round, I picked the Guardians, which was incorrect, the Yankees, which was right, the Dodgers, which was right, and the Padres, which was wrong. Then for the divisional round, I picked the Mariners, which was right. I picked the Yankees over the Blue Jays. That was obviously wrong. Phillies over Dodgers, obviously wrong. And Padres over Brewers, also wrong. So I only had one of the four, ALCS, NLCS teams right, and it was the Mariners. I picked the Mariners and the Phillies to go to the World Series, so that was alive. The Mariners, I guess, was alive for a little bit, and I actually picked the Phillies to win the World Series. It's embarrassing, so we're going to go ahead and move past that, act like that never happened. But this is where I left off with you guys. We recapped the Wild Card Series and the Divisional Series, and then we made our predictions for the ALCS and NLCS. So let's go ahead and start off with talking about... We'll start with the NLCS, because that was obviously the least exciting one. We can just go ahead. You guys know who won. We're not going to act like it's going to be a surprise for anyone. Unless you don't know, which, I'm sorry. But we're going to recap. So, Game 1, Dodgers win 2-1. It was kind of a boring game. The Brewers only got 2 hits that entire game. The Dodgers really dominated this whole series. Game 2 was 5-1. Again, Brewers only hit 3 hits that game. Game 3, 3-1 Dodgers. They went back to LA for this one. This one was a little bit closer. It was 1-1 for a good amount of time. The Dodgers did end up scoring 2 runs in the 6th. They end up winning 3-1. That one was kind of the Brewers' last chance, in my opinion, if they needed to win that game. So they were already down 3-0. And then the Dodgers, in Game 4, win 5-1 off one of the best baseball game, maybe the best baseball game/performances I've ever seen watching baseball. Shohei Ohtani on the mound, 6 innings pitched, a shutout 6 innings, by the way, only allowing 2 hits, 10 strikeouts on the mound, and not to mention at the plate, 3 home runs. One of them was 469 feet, the longest home run in Dodger Stadium this season. He hit it out of the park, I think. Just absurd. 3 home runs and 10 strikeouts on the mound, shutout, 6 shutout innings. Are we serious? So the Dodgers end up sweeping the Brewers 4-0, and they have only... By the way, the Dodgers are 9-1 in the playoffs. They lost 1 game to the Phillies this postseason run. They are an absolute force right now. Mariners, Blue Jays. Now, this series was very, very fun. So the Mariners win Game 1, 3-1. That was a great game. The Blue Jays scored in the first inning, up 1-0, but the Mariners end up fighting back, come back. Cal Raleigh tied it up in the top of the 6th. Jorge Polanco also hit a single, and he hit a single later in the game. So he had 2 RBIs in Game 1. They win 3-1. Game 2, the Mariners blow them out 10-3. And I was like, whoa, here we go. I mean, first inning, it was 3-2 Mariners. It was very exciting. And the Blue Jays end up tying the game out of the second inning. But the Mariners, 3 runs in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, 3 runs in the 7th. They end up winning 10-3. So it kind of got out of hand for the Blue Jays once they put the bullpen in. And at this point, the Mariners up 2-0, going back to Seattle. I made a tweet saying... because obviously I switched my prediction. My prediction was Blue Jays Dodgers, which was ultimately right. But at the time, the Mariners were up 2-0, and I picked them, before the whole postseason started. Mariners were my World Series team out of the AL, and then I switched it to the Blue Jays. Whenever I did that video a week or 2 ago, and I tweeted out when the Mariners were up 2-0. My bad. Shouldn't have switched from the Mariners. Should not have switched to the Blue Jays. The Mariners up 2-0, going back to Seattle. It looks like they're going to run away with the series. But the Blue Jays had other plans. Going into Seattle, they win Game 3, 13-4. I mean, the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th inning, they scored basically all their runs. I mean, they scored 5 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, 4 in the 6th. They had 18 hits that game. They went 13-4. It was a big win for them. And then Game 4 as well, 8-2 win. That one... that one was a little weird. I feel like it felt closer than it was. I don't know if that was just me watching that one, but Vlad Guerrero hit a homer in this one, and he's this postseason, he's been absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what he's batting in the postseason right now, but it's got to be something crazy because that dude is absolutely ridiculous right now. I'm trying to see if I can find it. I mean, he's hitting. I think he's hitting 442. Unless this is wrong, he's hitting 442 in the playoffs right now. That could be wrong, obviously, but I mean that's just absurd. So, he has 6 home runs in the postseason. I mean, this dude's been ridiculous. So now it's 2-2, right? Going, game 5 in Seattle still. And Seattle wins this one, up 3-2. And at this point, I was really clueless on what was going to happen. The Blue Jays were actually up 2-1 for a good amount of this game. But the Mariners scored 5 runs in the 8th inning. They really opened it up. Suarez hit a grand slam in the bottom of the 8th to kind of call a game, and they go up 3-2 in the series. And I was really concerned for the Blue Jays, but they answered. They win 6-2 in Game 6. It was kind of a hard-fought win, but they hold on. They win 6-2. By the way, this guy Trey Savage, he's been ridiculous. They just called him up. I think he was in the minor leagues or something like a month or two ago, and this guy has been crucial for them in the playoffs. But now we got Game 7 in Toronto, and this Game 7, let me tell you, it lived up to the hype. Out of the first inning, it's 1-1. The Mariners score in the top of the 3rd to make it 2-1. They also score in the top of the 5th to make it 3-1 off of a Cal Raleigh big home run. Julio Rodriguez also hit a home run, earlier in the 3rd. So the Mariners were up 3-1, and now we're going into the bottom of the 7th inning, and George Springer, 3-run home run, 381 feet. It was so electric. It reminded me so much of the Jose Bautista home run from way back when in the playoffs, and the Blue Jays win the game 4-3. I mean, just what a great game all around. I felt bad for Mariners fans because it feels like that was kind of going to be their only shot at the World Series. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they can get back to the spot in the next few seasons, but this kind of felt like, it has to be now for the Mariners. I don't know if I feel that way for the Blue Jays just because I feel like they have a little bit more talent. Maybe I'm wrong. But, the Mariners also got some guys on expiring deals. They really bought this, and it almost paid off. They almost got to the World Series. But yeah, George Springer, just a monster home run. That moment's going to be always going to be in Blue Jays fans' heads for the rest of their lives. So happy for Toronto, and they're going to be playing the Dodgers in the World Series. Now in this one, there's a lot of storylines to look at. Both these teams kind of been struggling. Their weakest point, both these teams, has been their bullpen. Hoffman, I think, is the Blue Jays closer. He's coming. He's been struggling all regular season, but he was kind of lights out in the playoffs. And the Dodgers turned to Roki Sasaki, kind of unproven in the closer role. He's been lights out as well. So maybe the Dodgers have figured it out. I've said this with the Dodgers, last week when we talked about this, but they've had, the bullpen problem all year, and now they're just putting starters out there in the bullpen. Like, they're just throwing whoever they can. I mean, the starting rotation is ridiculous. It's Blake Snell looks like he's going to be starting Game 1, but you also got Ohtani, you got Yamamoto, you got Tyler Glasnow. I mean, it's ridiculous what they have. And they have so much starters that they can pitch them out of the bullpen, which is just crazy. The Dodgers are going to have a lot more rest going into the series than the Blue Jays are. The Blue Jays came off a hard-fought Game 7-game series, and that Game 7 came down to the wire. The Dodgers coming off a sweep, they haven't played a game in, it feels like a long time. Yeah, when Game 1 rolls around, they'll be a week removed from their last game. So could that play a factor? Could the Dodgers be a little cold coming into this game? Could the Blue Jays maybe take Game 1? It's also in Toronto, so I think the Blue Jays have a shot at taking Game 1. We're not sure who's going to start for the Blue Jays yet, so that could be interesting. By the way, I'm recording this. I know this video is coming out Thursday. I'm recording it on Wednesday, so maybe they announced it by then, but as of right now, I'm not sure who's going to be the starter. I've heard it's going to be, it sounds like Davis Schneider. Toronto Blue Jay fans, let me know how you feel about that. But it is it's going to be a good series, I think. I've seen a lot of people saying Dodgers in 5. I was actually thinking that. I think it also could be Kevin Gausman. You look at Kevin Gausman. He started game one of the ALDS. He started game one of the ALCS, I believe. Um, so it could be Kevin Gausman, but then again, he did play in Game 7. He came out of the bullpen for them, so I'm not sure if he'll be the starter here in Game 1 of this World Series. I'd probably, in my opinion, I'd assume it's him, but you never know. Um, but then again, the Dodgers may come into this cold. You could also look at it, well, they're going to be well rested. The Blue Jays are going to be tired. I think that there's a good chance that the Blue Jays win Game 1, but honestly, I don't think the Blue Jays win the series. I think the Dodgers go back to back. Freddie Freeman's going to have a chance to get his back to back World Series MVPs. I don't know when the last time that's ever happened. I think the MVP will probably go to Ohtani. Sounds like if the Dodgers win, Mookie Betts will get his 4th ring. He's had an amazing career. So many of these guys are stepping up for the Dodgers, bullpen wise, pitching wise, hitting wise. Just everybody's playing well. Will Smith looks fully healthy. It is interesting to see Bo Bichette may be back for the Blue Jays, so that could be something to look at. And Addison Barger, Ernie Clement, Alejandro Kirk, all these guys, Dalton Varsho, are stepping up for the Blue Jays. They have a lot of depth. Andres Jimenez has been good in the playoffs. But honestly, I just don't know if they can beat the star power for the Dodgers. In the clutch moments, I trust the Dodgers so much more, honestly, than I do the Blue Jays. Maybe I shouldn't, because, we saw what George Springer did. He's won a World Series MVP back in the day with the Dodgers. And we've seen how good Vlad Guerrero has been all postseason. But I'm sorry, man. I can't go against the Dodgers right now. The Blue Jays get it at home. Like, they're gonna be. I just, in all fairness, the Blue Jays are a very good team. I think I've seen a lot of people, like I said, taking Dodgers in 5. I think if the Blue Jays win Game 1. They can probably push it to 6. I don't see this game going to 7. Or I don't see the series going to 7 games. I think I'll say the Dodgers win in 6, just to be different. Because like I said, everyone's taking Dodgers in 5. I'll say the Blue Jays maybe go out, win Game 1 in Toronto. The Dodgers may come out a little bit cold, a little bit rusty, so maybe the Blue Jays can get Game 1. But besides that, I think the Dodgers kind of run away with the series. Like I said, they're 9-1. In the playoffs. That's just absurd. So I'm going to take the Dodgers. They kind of sleptwalked through the regular season, but as of right now, they're firing on all cylinders, and they look like a very good shot to repeat once again. But let me know who you guys have in the World Series. Who do you have winning? What are your thoughts on the series? How many games do you think the series is going to go to? Who do you got winning World Series MVP? I'll probably take Shohei. I think that's probably the safe pick. But let me know. I've loved watching baseball this season. It's been fun. Very, very fun. I'm not the biggest baseball fan, but I'm trying to get into it more and more. I feel like I've getting some more ball knowledge as, every season I continue to watch. But yeah, I'm going to be excited. I'm going to be watching every single World Series game because playoff baseball, it's unmatched. But that's going to do it for the World Series preview and prediction video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys, I'm not sure actually, but I'll see you guys either tomorrow or Saturday, maybe Sunday, and we're going to be starting our college basketball season conference previews, so stay tuned for that, and obviously we do NFL, college football, NBA every week now. College basketball will be every week from here on out. So yeah, subscribe if you're new, turn on the noties, like this video. With all that being said, though, thank you so much for watching, and go ahead and enjoy the World Series.